All right, welcome in another edition of Inside LSU Women's Basketball. First show last week. I thought we had a lot of did a pretty good show last week, and I think this is going to be something that's a lot of people are excited about, getting a lot of play off of it. And of course, again, Emily joins us, and nobody does it better than her. And Emily Ward, of course, a member of LSU's national championship team, and a big week last week since we last talked. Emily, LSU, a wild one with Oklahoma, Mississippi State, not so much trouble on Sunday, and Flau'jae with some interesting comments after that one. And then, of course, now Missouri, and then a return engagement with the Vols coming to town on Sunday. That's going to be all important one. Give us your thoughts on what you saw last week.
Well, first, the Oklahoma game was absolutely insane. I don't know if many of y'all got to watch it, but it was a tough game. I personally probably don't think I ever played in a game like that, or we had one around my time that had that many fouls. I think it was like over 50. Of course, some technicals, ejections, all of that. So it was just tough, and they definitely gave us a run for our money. I know that at one point we were up by like 20 something, and then they came back and made it a 1 point game, which when we were up by that much, I felt like it was not, it didn't deflect that. Like I thought it was a close game the whole time. But it was very entertaining, very good to watch. I know that in both the press conferences post game, both coaches were like, it was just hard to get in the flow because everything kept stopping for the fouls. But yeah, very interesting. And then of course the A&M game, it was family weekend or not. Wait, was it A&M? Wait,
Mississippi State.
who did we play on Sunday?
Mississippi
State. Yes, I was like A&M was alumni. Yeah. Mississippi State. Of course, it was family weekend, a lot of distractions, but I thought the team did well. We, handled our business. Jersey had a phenomenal game. I know we talked about that in the last show of how we needed someone to step up, and she really did once Somaya was out. So props to her. I thought she did fantastic. And then, of course, our big three, Aneesah, Flau'jae, Mikaylah, did fantastic too.
Well, that's something I want to talk to you about. There's a couple of things I was thinking. Look, the 24-point lead and drop it to 1. Think about some of there's been some wild games where LSU has had some close ones where you just went, okay, is this where the luck's going to run out or they're going to get, but you know what, if you think about it, LSU has pretty much won all of these games since Kim's been here. All those crazy, wacky games where someone's going to get you at home or you're going to drop one you're not supposed to, it never happens. It's just they always wiggle their way out of it.
Yeah, the only one that comes to my mind was, of course, when we lost to Tennessee in the SEC championship my senior year, the year we won. We were up by a lot at halftime, but it was fine because we ended up winning the national championship. But other than that, like all of the close games, we normally come out with the win. I feel like Kim is such a good coach in the last few minutes. She knows how to make those adjustments. She knows what plays to run. And of course, she's not going to pick a play that we haven't gone over in practice the few days before. So I think her and the staff do a great job at, like, okay, if we're in this situation, then we're going to do this play and we're going to go over it with the girls. So I'm not just throwing them this play that we haven't, because we have like 40 something plays, but of course they do scout and Bob Starkey picks the plays that we will most likely run that week. And so it really helps when, of course, we know all the plays, but they do get jumbled up in your head, as you can imagine. So then right before the games, we'll go in and go to practice and be like, okay, we'll do this play if we're only up by 1, and like that kind of stuff. So yeah, but all the close games, they know how to win. They take the last second shots, of course, Mikaylah in the Oklahoma game, and then Aaliyah with like the block and then the steal and passing to Flau'jae. So I think it all just comes together very well.
Very early in that game, and we're watching, and I'm forgetting her name, 34, multiple trips down the court, pushing and shoving, getting real nasty down in the paint. It was a couple of times before that, her and Mikaylah were really getting tied up, and it was getting like, and I leaned over to Corey and Brunet, also covering LSU women's basketball, sitting next to me on our little aisle, a press row. And I'm like, man, it's getting ugly down there. Something's about, they better get a hold of this game. And then this Somaya thing happened the next possession. And, I asked Kim in the post game, and I knew I was going to get the answer I got, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? That's the first time we've seen fire like that out of Somaya. I mean, how bad do things have to get?
Yeah.
How bad? How far do things have to escalate for her to have that kind of reaction? And that's why I asked her, is that something you've ever seen in practice ever, or is that? And she said no. And so, and to me, when we've been talking about the bigs and thinking, is Somaya going to mentally get over the knee injury? I'm just kind of wondering, is that maybe a catalyst last week for something down the road, a positive? And she didn't want to say there's no positive. There's no positive in getting ejected. Of course, she had to miss Sunday's game as well. But I don't know. I'm gonna be looking to see if that might have sparked something in her. But it was kind of and it was shocking to me because I never saw that in her.
Yeah, no, she's a very shy and very quiet person. And of course, like she had to guard Angel for 2 or 3 years. She had to guard all these big post players. And of course, Angel likes to talk and Somaya will talk, but it's not very like assertive. Like not maybe assertive is not the right answer, but she's very like to herself, quiet. So I was very shocked when she did that. Obviously getting ejected is not the best thing, but I'm proud of her. Like she fought for herself. It was a battle down there from the start, which, like you said, to them they're gonna have to get a hold of it, and I don't think they did. But I was happy with Somaya. Of course, you don't want her to flicks in the arm, but she did push back and she held her own down there when she was in. So hopefully it is something for the past. Hopefully it gets her fired up, or for the future, I mean.
Absolutely. All right, LSU fans, if y'all enjoying the show, or if you're watching it later after the fact, because we're doing this in the morning, if you're enjoying the show, please hit that like button for us. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell. And Emily's going to be with us till right at 10 o'clock. But right before she heads out, we're expecting a special guest to pop in with us. So we'll be waiting for that here towards the end of the show. But heading to Missouri, and I'm going right past the Mississippi State game. But before I do that, halftime, family night or family day, whatever the wording is. How big of a deal is that? And of course, I know like Poa being from Australia, I guess what her local sponsor family or whatever, and things like that happen. Not every family member can get down here from across the country or on the other side of the world in Poa's case. But how special is that day? Is that something y'all look forward to?
Yes, I always loved Family Day. Of course, my parents were very supportive, and I only live around 3.5, 4 hours from Baton Rouge, so they would come to literally every single one of my games. They're both teachers at the time, so they would finish school, drive down to the game, and then drive back. So they got to see me play a lot. But I know like a lot of the other girls are from like a plane flight away or a long drive. So it's really just nice that we have that time that we get to recognize our families because they put so much work and effort into getting us to the point. Of course, we're the athletes, but we can't be athletes without them taking us to practice every day or paying for everything, all the tournaments and all of that stuff. So it is great to show our appreciation to them. And then I know like Aneesah's whole family was there this weekend and it was her birthday. So I know that was very special for her. And it's also really cool to see everyone else's family. Like a lot of people, like I know Flau'jae, her mom and her stepdad are very supportive and all of her little brothers. But like you don't get to see Aneesah's family as much or just other people that are from far away. So it's really nice to get to know them and talk to them because of course you love their daughter and their daughter's like a sister to you. So it's just cool to see how they're raised and just talk to the people that raised them.
Absolutely. I was laughing because Somaya's dad, when it was time to take a picture, and I shot video of the whole thing. That's on our YouTube channel. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. But he was purposely trying to embarrass her. It was funny, like kissing her on the cheek, and she wasn't having it. But it was
Yeah.
it looks like her dad likes to cut up with her.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All right, we got to go Tigers from Alonzo Johnson. If y'all want to get your questions or comments in, a lot of y'all are lurking. Go ahead and put those in here, and we'll get to them. But yeah, we're about to hit the stretch, Emily. With Missouri's not you're going on the road. Anytime you go on the road, it's tough. But Missouri's only one. What did I say? One SEC game. Yeah, they're 1-8 in the league and 12-12 overall. That's not going to be a contest, I don't think, for LSU. Look, you never know what can happen, but I don't expect LSU to have any issues there. Vols come back to town, number 19 right now in the AP top 25. But you're about to hit this stretch now towards the end of February, where a lot of these games are going to dictate your seeding in the NCAA tournament, whether you get to host or not, what kind of draw you get. And when we start talking about what's the ceiling for this team and can they get it done without, a major inside presence, and mainly the big three carrying the team for most of the way. But with Tennessee and then at Texas the following Sunday, basically you have a whole week before you head to Austin on that Sunday. That's going to be a tough contest.
Mm-hmm.
And then at Rupp Arena in Kentucky. And of course, they're reinvigorated there in a very good Kentucky team. And then you finish out at home. Then you have to go to Tuscaloosa. And then Ole Miss at home. I mean, let's say, what we got? 1, okay, 2, 3. It's like 4 of the next 6 or 7 games are some real biggies, huge games. I mean, these are nothing to sneeze at. Whereas, we've talked here. We go into these seasons with Kim, and she's getting dinged, and everybody's bringing up her non-conference schedule and the December slate. But now with the SEC, for most of the season having 7 top 25 teams, whereas last year there was only 2.
Mm-hmm.
With the infusion of Oklahoma and Texas, plus Ole Miss playing well, Kentucky with a new coach and a lot of transfers in, the SEC is something else.
Oh yeah, and like you said, you never want to look ahead of Missouri or who you have next. But you have a long stretch of hard games, and luckily the Tennessee game is in Baton Rouge, which I think is also going to be difficult because it's Super Bowl weekend and Super Bowl day, I guess. So I know the girls won't necessarily be distracted, but it's just like not a weird atmosphere, but it's a different atmosphere. Um, and then, of course, Kentucky, like you said, they have Georgia Amore. My senior year when she played for Virginia Tech, she's probably one of my favorite guards in the country. Like I love watching her play. She is
Yeah,
awesome.
Ava I do
Ole
this
Miss
every
has
time,
always been
Ava.
a tough for us. It's always been a tough game.
Yeah, Ava says the
Oh yeah.
Kentucky game is at Memorial, not Rupp. I do that every time.
Mm-hmm. Which actually, I only went to Kentucky one time because yeah, I only played at Kentucky one time, and for which I think the women get to pick one game to play at Rupp Arena, and they picked our game, so that was cool. So I get to actually play in the Rupp. But that'll be a tough game, and it's a lot of games back to back, and like I said last week, it is hard. It's a hard stretch towards the end of the SEC because then you start getting into your midterms and everything. I remember a few years ago, I was taking midterms during the SEC tournament, and so that was hard because I had to study and take tests. Like I think I took one of my online classes. I had a midterm like the morning before a game or something like that. So it is hard because you're still a student. You still have to eat healthy. You still have to sleep your 8 hours, but it is a quick turnaround for games. And it is good that we have a break between Tennessee and Texas. Those off games on Thursday, like the week we have off, bye week, I guess, it's a hard week because normally you watch film on the team you're about to play, and then you practice for that team because it's only like 3 or 4 days in between. Well, with the week, you don't do scout until like that Thursday or Friday like you're used to. So then that like they'll probably have off Monday. So like Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Thursday, you're solely just doing drills. Like it's back to preseason drills. So it's hard because you're exhausted from the season and then you're turning around, but you're working on yourself to get better during that week. You're not focusing on another team.
Well, and I'm imagining you're basically having to cram too, because Kim likes to get there the day before. So, and then what are you probably installing in Austin, right?
Yeah.
Your game plan?
Yeah, they'll probably do, which it's, I say they work on themselves, which they do, but Kim will be like, okay, well, if Texas is gonna, which I'm just making this up, but like if Texas is gonna work or maybe press on a 1-2-2, then we're gonna work on that the whole week. It won't be as detail oriented like solely to Texas, but we're gonna work on it. We're gonna work on our fast breaks, transition defense, transition offense. So they'll slowly incorporate stuff, but it's not like we're doing it solely because Texas. We're doing it like to help get better, and if that makes sense.
Absolutely. All right. This show is brought to y'all each week by Dykes Electrical. And of course, Dykes is the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. No matter how big or small your electrical needs may be, Dykes is wired for success. You need a brand new 10-story office building, they can wire that. 200,000 square foot warehouse you need built, they can wire that. Expanding your existing commercial building, they can wire that. Changing out a breaker, whole electrical panel, or just a receptacle in your home or office, they can wire that. And upgrading an old lighting in your home or office, they can wire that. Give them a call today at the number on your screen, 225-216-9180 for a free estimate on your project. And please let them know that TigerBait sent you in. Dykes Electrical, Baton Rouge-based company, Louisiana company, and huge LSU fans over at Dykes. And we're glad to have them as the official electrical company of TigerBait.com. All right. This home stretch here, what is some of the things that in the strength and conditioning, what is it like that you have to do to maintain on off days? What are they doing like? And is it difficult when you're having to board planes the day before games? How much time do you have to do any strength and conditioning, or is it all on court for the most part?
The majority of it is on court. We do conditioning, but it's conditioning and drills. Mulkey does a fantastic job at knowing that even though we have a game coming up, we also need to rest and recover from the previous game. And so, like, of course, we'll do hot tubs, cold tubs. We'll get the like massage gun and work on that stuff. And if we do weights, it's just to kind of get like a little bit of strength. Like we're not maxing or anything like that. Like it'll be like maybe 20-25 minutes in the weight room just to keep it flowing a little bit. And normally that's like right after practice. We'll go straight from practice to the weight room. But most of it, I would say, is on the court conditioning. And it is, and it's funny because you are playing all these games and running like 6 or 7 miles every game and doing all this stuff, but it's not like you're just running, like it doesn't feel like you're running that much. And so sometimes it is hard because you're like, oh, I'm not super sore, like I whatever. But Mulkey like makes us do all this stuff. Of course, our trainer Barbie, she's awesome. So they know what's best for us. They definitely have been doing it for a lot longer than we have. So they make it a point to make sure we're rested and ready for the next game.
All right, I'm gonna get this comment in, and our special guest just popped in. I see him down below. Akeem Batiste, got to get our bigs up to par to go with the great perimeter play of Big Four in MK12. Needs to beast needs to help collectively from 8:23 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And our special guest might have something to say about that as well. And so there he is, Gary Reedus. Welcome in, Coach.
What's up?
Hi.
What's up, Mike?
She was just telling us, Coach, about how in shoot arounds, y'all, she always beat you in horse or whatever game y'all were playing.
Never. I never lost in anything. I don't know when I ever lost in ones, horse, shooting game, anything. I was too competitive to lose.
He's undefeated.
Yeah, and they talk too much. You know how y'all are. Y'all used to talk too much, especially
I didn't.
Y'all
Other
as
people.
a collective talk too much. So I could never lose.
Coach, heading to Missouri, what's the itinerary like? Do you enjoy going on the road, or you prefer to be at home in your own bed?
I mean, I love being at home in my own bed and, you know, getting to like still take my kids to school and still get to pick them up and everything like that. And, you know, playing the PMAC in front of our fans. But it's something like fun about playing on the road, especially here. I think that, you know, Emily, you know this. We get fans everywhere we go. I mean, I don't know. It's something about like getting on the bus, then getting on the plane. I think it does something to like the camaraderie of a team. I think, you know, when you play at home, everybody goes to their own apartment, their own dorm, whatever, their own house. But when you're on the road, you're all together, and you get to spend that extra time together, and you eat meals together, and you know, tell stories together, and all of those things. I think it brings teams closer together by going on the road. So I like road games. Every road game is tough in the SEC, but I like going on the road.
I imagine at times it can possibly also simplify things. You're not, if you're a player, you're not worried about tickets for family. You know, there's a lot of things that come with a home game.
Yes.
And sometimes, depending on the year, if there's some drama, even sometimes it's good to get out on the road so you can get away from that media element of it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a
not
little
that I'm one of those clickbaity guys that Kim talks about.
Right. I mean, I think that we've gotten so big over the past couple of years that, I mean, the girls do have to worry about tickets because the parents and the fans, they go everywhere, kind of. And the media is kind of everywhere. I think it's a little different at home, but I just think that it's a time for our team to just really come together and bond and just grow closer. I think that, you know, with the transfer portal, you have a lot of new pieces every year. And I just think it gives you enough time to really, really form those bonds. The year we won the championship, I mean, we went to the Bahamas, and then we went to Hawaii.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I think those trips did a lot for the team. Like, I think that it helped everybody just kind of get to know each other. So it made it.
Well, and I will say this, I'm going to bring this up. We've, of course, at TigerBait been involved with Bayou Traditions. If you're an LSU women's basketball fan, you need to get to Bayou Traditions and earmark some money to LSU women's basketball because Coach Reed has just brought up the transfer portal. And look, you don't, you know, we're not going to get ahead of ourselves because Emily and I were just talking about, we haven't seen a back end of the schedule like this since Kim's been here with all these ranked teams at Texas, going to Kentucky, Ole Miss at home, Alabama on the road. I mean, these are some crazy games. You know, over a half a dozen SEC teams in the top 25, and of course the Vols coming back. You know, for playing them twice this season on Sunday.
Yep.
But it's look. You know, Flau'jae is going to have a decision. You're losing Morrow. You got a great high school class coming in, but the portal is going to be vital. And you know. I
need
think
money to do that, right? Like, I think that you can just kind of say it like it. The transfer portal is here, NIL is here. Like, everybody knows the best players and the top-notch players and the kids that we're trying to get. You know, that they aren't free. Like, nobody's going to school anymore just to go to school.
Yeah.
They're going to school because they love your program and because they feel like they can win, especially when speaking about us. And because, you know, whether it's trying to improve draft stock or whether it's, you know, wanting to play for Coach Mulkey or just wanting to play here in front of this atmosphere. But at the same time, I mean, like,
I can
it's the day and age.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, the numbers I'm hearing is that no matter how well you think you are in the NIL space and what you got budgeted wise, I'm told this year that the number could be 40% higher than last year.
Maybe
25, 20. Yeah.
Maybe I don't know yet. But
right. That's just it. I know
the difference between. I think as it continues to grow, I think even from like recruiting in, the 2024 class to the 2025 class, like it was different. It was different. The conversations that you had to have, it was a little bit different. And it's just the day and age that we're in. I mean, it's different. I think that, the revenue sharing starting, we'll see how that changes things. But right now, it's different. It's different. Everybody go to Bayou Traditions. Click. I hadn't been on there. Click Women's Basketball. Help us out, man. We want to continue to put a product.
And a lot of people think that that's only for people doing 5 and 6 figures. No, it's
for everybody.
No,
it's for everybody. We try to make sure everybody on our team is taken care of. So every little bit helps, because we want to make sure even the ones that may not be getting, the most money or whatever, we want them to be taken care of as well. So every donation, every little bit, it all helps.
Yeah, because I can see with or without whatever decision Flau'jae makes, this is going to be a very vital transfer portal period for y'all. So that's why if you're a huge LSU women's basketball fan, you need to earmark some Bayou Traditions money to the LSU women's basketball.
Everyone, listen to Mike Scarborough. Yes, listen to it.
There you go. Exactly. Emily, before we let you roll, Emily's got a big work deal at 10. Got a couple of minutes. Anything you want to add or ask Gary before you head out?
Nothing really to ask him. I'm just excited for the season. I know it's a hard stretch and it's going to be a fun stretch. So I wish y'all luck. I definitely miss it. It's really fun that I still get to live in Baton Rouge and go to a lot of the games. It's fun watching y'all, and I hope that everyone listening comes to our game versus Tennessee at home, Super Bowl. It's great timing, honestly. I know it's cutting it close, but you can go to the game,
it is good timing,
the Tennessee game, and then turn around and go somewhere for the Super Bowl. So that's what I plan on doing. So tune in, even if it's on, or if you're watching TV or in person. We just hope that there's a big crowd, and I know it will be, because it's Tennessee, and Tennessee's always a tough game. It's a tough matchup. So I'm excited.
Good. Emily, you know how this time of the year is. You know how this time of the year is. It's really game by game. You probably can hear Mulkey right now, kind of the talks that she's giving. Kind of the temperament of Starkey right now. It's time.
It's intense. It is intense.
It's intense, but I think now we're trying to we've worked out some of the kinks, and now it's about doing it right. And doing it right every single time. So you know how right now is. So.
Yeah, and Mike said earlier, these are the games that really dictate the NCAA tournament and the SEC tournament and stuff. So even though you're tired and exhausted from basketball and school and everything, you still got to push it through, because this is the fun time. Like the SEC tournament's so fun, NCAA is so fun. So you got to get through this hard point to get to.
Yeah, and because this schedule's so tough the last 2 weeks with these crazy games. Kim likes to downplay the SEC tournament. I'm wondering if, maybe you need a game there that an extra game there that you don't think you need to get the right seating. So you're not getting, let's talk. I mean, you know what happened last year? They should not have been playing Iowa in
right.
But, maybe an extra game might have helped that. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
But I think they did it on purpose. Yeah. Just like they screwed your recruiting class with McDonald's All-American entries.
Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah.
All right, Emily, we'll let you get out of here.
Okay. Bye, guys. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Coach. She brought up Coach Starkey, and I've gotten a kick out of him. I particularly got a kick out of him in December. We haven't talked to him since, but boy, he let it fly that post game when he filled in for Kim when she wasn't feeling good. I'm like, man, was this a good cop, bad cop thing going on here? Because he didn't hold back. But what's funny is listen to the players talk about if they don't do what they're supposed to on defense, how they know they're going to get it from Bob.
Yeah, I don't know if they do I don't think they do a good cop, bad cop thing. It's sometimes like bad cop, worst cop. Especially with defense. With defense, oh yeah. You're gonna hear it because you're going to hear it from Starkey. You are 100% gonna hear from Starkey. You're always gonna hear from Mulkey. But especially with defense, like, yeah, you're gonna hear it.
He basically came out and did a Lou Holtz where it was, we ain't this, we ain't that, we better improve it. I mean,
he was right. He was right. Yeah. And the girls know that. The girls know that. They understand the expectations here. They understand the standards here. And they understand the expectations. And they know. They know, and a lot of them they've smartened up. They know when they mess up, they immediately look over and they like, oh, I know I was supposed to do this. I'm gonna get it right. But sometimes Starkey is like, I know you know now. You didn't do it when you were supposed to. So it's funny. Like we sometimes laugh about it. He never laughs about it. Well, he laughs like 1% of the time. But
I know you've been busy the last couple of weeks. I know you can't say who names, but where's just some of the destinations? Can you name cities and states
that I've been?
Yeah. Out recruiting and scouting.
Man, I've been to LA. I've been to Boston. I've been to Phoenix. I've been to Dallas. I've been to Iowa. I've been to Denver. I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. We just went to Kentucky. To see Zakaya. Everywhere. Literally everywhere. I mean, I can't really even keep up with it. I try not to even think about it and think about where all I've been and where all I'm going. It's just kind of par for the course. I'm going around just because I'm still just going around watching people play basketball. Right. And I look at that as a blessing. And I look at that as, it's really fun that I'm in this position to be able to literally go watch the best high school basketball players play. So I enjoy it. Is it tiring? Yes. Sometimes do I wish that it was a little bit more of a break? Yes, especially once the season like really gets going. Is it a balance that I have to reach with, making sure I'm here and, we're getting workouts in with the girls and, and that I'm just around anyway. Yes, but I enjoy it.
You know what I find amazing though, and maybe you can tell me if it's increased since you've gotten here, but I also think it's pretty staggering the quality and the distance that the prospects that you're recruiting or scouting will come for unofficial visits, whether they're sophomores, juniors, rising sophomores, juniors. They'll come from all across the country to visit you. Have you seen that increase since y'all have gotten here and the program's been established, or since the national championship? Because it used to be, and I'm just use a football recruiting. It used to be a lot of times if an LSU football coach was recruiting a prospect from, Charlotte, North Carolina, you had to go to them. It was hard to get them here. Now kids are finding their own ways and making their ways. It's a lot of times the more times you can get them on your campus, the better you're going to be at the end.
Yeah, I mean, LSU is a national brand, and that's one thing that we wanted to do, especially in recruiting. Recruiting the more local and state and regional kids that you have, great. Because that makes it a little bit easier. But we're recruiting nationally, and we're circling the globe, honestly, trying to find the best players out there. And they're interested. They're interested in LSU, so they want to see it, whether it's coming to see it for, a football game, whether it's coming for one of our basketball games. They want to see it. So we are proud of that. We're proud of that. We're proud that, that we've become one of the top brands in women's basketball. But honestly, like, it's funny. Like we feel like we have so much further we can go. Like we feel like we're honestly just scratching the surface of what we can do in recruiting, with our program, like on the floor product. Like we feel like, it's good, but it can be better. And I think that's what Coach Mulkey does a great job of, like making sure that we're not satisfied with anything. We got the #1 recruiting class, and Mulkey was like, but we didn't get this. And okay, the next class, we need to make sure that we get this. And so great, give yourself a pat on the back for a quick second, but job's not done. The fans are never satisfied, but just like they're never satisfied, we aren't either.
Do you think y'all have the right formula, or is it just a lot of it's unforeseen? You think you have something and you don't, or the mix of transfer portal and your high school recruiting? Can you see where there's a kind of like a percentage that's going to, after a while, is going to kind of be the formula where so much from high school, so much from transfer portal, or there's going to be some years where that's just going to get totally upended and you're going to need more from the portal than you thought you were, the six months before?
It's fluid. It's always fluid. Recruiting is fluid. Roster construction is fluid because the transfer portal works both ways. So, I mean, there's going to be some years you may lose a couple kids that you didn't think that you would lose. It may be some year. I think last year was a very unique year because, we had a couple kids on our roster, who could have made decisions to come back for another year as opposed to transferring or going, to the WNBA. So, I mean, you try to prepare. We want to get high school kids. We want to get the best high school kids every single year. That's how we approach it. And we want to fill in the gaps with the transfer portal. That's how we look at it.
It'd be good too if Louisiana could maybe have 2 or 3 great ones every year.
Yeah. If they had that every single year, again, like the more local, the more state, the more regional kids that are really, really good, that would be amazing. I mean, it's one coming down the line now that we're excited about, that we hope decides to be, a Lady Tiger, but we want that every single year. And we're always gonna make sure that we take care of our state first. If you're good and you're in our state, we want you to come to LSU. But I mean, again, I think it's all just fluid. You got kids who are from Louisiana and move and go play at a prep school. And now their recruiting isn't so local anymore because now you can't recruit them like a local kid. Now you have to really go out and see them a little bit more, right?
See, are you guys doing like football coaches do, where maybe there's a tweener that's at a local high school in Louisiana that you really like, but maybe they're not quite LSU yet, but you recruit them and you establish a relationship with them because they're doing it in football, where either there's going to, not going to say a growth spurt, but maybe a growth spurt game wise, maturity wise, and maybe they're going to go to a mid-major for a year or two, and you have established that relationship, and maybe your hunch is right. In a couple of years, they're going to end up in the portal, and they're coming back.
Not so much. We recruit players that we want to come to LSU. We don't recruit players that we feel like could be something down the line and we can get them out of the portal. We don't do that. We recruit players that want to come to LSU. I think football is different because they have so many players. With us, we don't feel like we necessarily have to do that. If a kid gets in the portal and they're good and they just happen to be from Louisiana, great.
Right.
And if we feel like they can play here, we'll go recruit them. We don't feel like we have to establish anything before that. We're just recruiting people that we feel like can help us get better.
Yeah. Before I let you get out of here, this upcoming back end of the season, I mean, is this, have y'all been talking about this? I mean, this you got Tennessee at home on Sunday. You get the week off, I guess, was that midterms, right? and then head to Austin. Then you got to go up to Kentucky, Alabama on the road, and then you end at home with Ole Miss, and then you head to the SEC tournament. I mean, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ranked teams in the next 7 or 8 games.
Yeah,
nobody can talk about the December schedule anymore, right? It doesn't matter.
People are going to talk about it anyway, and I think that, I mean, you see it in the polls. I mean, we're ranked, lower than some people that we have more ranked wins than now. But it just is what it is. Like we just try to control what we can control. We take it one game at a time. We aren't looking ahead to anybody. We aren't thinking about seeding or anything like that. We want to win all of our home games, the same that we do every single year. We want to win all of our home games, and we want to beat some people on the road that we're not supposed to. And however the chips fall, they fall. We want to go to the SEC tournament and be competitive the same way we always do. And, we honestly just want to go from there. Like, everything else is stuff that we can't dictate. We want to go out every single night, and we want to be a hard out. Simple as that. Like, we just want to be competitive every single night.
Somaya versus Oklahoma. Have you ever seen her react like that before?
No.
I asked Kim in the post game, anything like that in practice. She said no. Like, and I brought up with Emily earlier, and I kind of asked Kim the question, and I don't know. I'm not going to say it's a positive, but could that be a catalyst for her and her confidence? Like, how bad do things have to escalate for her to have a reaction like that?
It was a physical game from the tip. It was really physical.
Oh, yeah. I saw it 2 times before that down court, and I'm like, they better get a hold of this game. I'm elbowing the guy sitting next to me on press row in 34, and I'm like, you see what just happened with Mikaylah? Something's going to happen here if these refs, and then it was the next time down court it happened.
It was physical. It was a really physical battle. I think a lot of the SEC games are really physical. We play a physical brand of basketball. So I think that, emotions were high from the beginning. And it just kind of happened how it happened. I mean, Somaya helps us a lot. So we would like for Somaya to be in the game so that she can help us. So we would like for her to not respond like that. We get it. Things happen in basketball games. But I mean, now she's back. She missed a game, and we're hoping that she can get right back and help us. And if that situation helps her, play more physical or more aggressive or whatever, then great. But I mean, we would like for those kinds of things not to happen.
Right. Well, we know what the season Flau'jae and Mikaylah and Aneesah Morrow are having, and it just seems like a little bit at a time. Somaya's probably getting back, and what Jersey is doing as well. Everybody wants to talk about, well, the three's kind of carrying the load, and you need something more down low, but it's kind of like it's just been getting done. I mean, I think you want to look at this team and maybe over scrutinize them from the outside looking in. And it's hard when the three are all doing what they're doing. If Jersey's going to give you some each game, and if it's a mix and match, maybe one game, one of them's asserting themselves, and maybe this team is going to go, I think, further than a lot of people think.
I mean, we feel like we have a lot of good players, and we feel like we have a lot of good players that can do a lot of different things. I mean, you saw there was a 4 or 5 game stretch there where Kaylin Gilbert was playing out of her mind because we needed it. Because maybe Mikaylah or Flau'jae, wasn't playing as good as they are right now. So she was giving us that. Cheyenne has been playing really
with some key shots from Cheyenne.
You get what I'm saying? Like, she's been playing really good. Aaliyah has been giving us really good minutes the last couple games, and we hope that is just going to boost her confidence and allow her to play even better. Oh, my goodness. All right. Over the next, however long, right? Jersey, she had a really good game last game. We wanted to keep it up. Jada's been getting minutes lately, and we want her to keep that up. Like, we hope that Poa can get back in the swing of things and give us, you know, kind of that consistency that she gives us and a veteran presence. We feel like, again, like we
just don't put the ball, don't bounce it. Go straight up with it, Gary. When you catch it in the post, go straight up. They're gonna foul you. Don't bounce it. Don't let them tie you up. Don't let a little one circle around you and grab a hold of the ball and tie you up, and the arrows happens to be going the wrong direction. Just go straight up with it.
I see you coaching. I see you coaching. Look at you. Look at you with the coach tips. I hear
if you miss a shot, fine. They're gonna foul you.
Maybe they may.
Aneesah's on the other side, anyways, to put it back
get the rebound, right? I mean, leading the nation in rebounds. We actually lead the nation in rebounds as a team. That was something that we were worried about coming into the game. I mean, into the season. So we've been really proud of that. I think Aneesah's been spearheading that, but I think as a team, we've been doing a good job of that. So we just want everybody to continue to get better. Like, we need production from everyone. Like, of course, Niece and Flau'jae and Mikaylah, they get a lot of the press, but we need it from everybody. Like, it's a team, and it's a team effort every single night. And I don't think that we get to where we have so far in this season without the contributions from everybody. Without Kaylin Gilbert, I mean, she's had 3 game winners, something like that. So, I mean, but it's everybody. Without those key shots from Cheyenne, like without that block from Aaliyah against Oklahoma, or the screen that she set for Mikaylah right before. That's how we look at it. That's literally how we look at it. Like, every little piece is very, very vital to having big success. So, you know, we just hope that we can keep it up.
Absolutely. All right, Coach, I'm gonna let you get out of here. Safe travels. Thanks for joining us on the show. And man, again, if you're an LSU season ticket holder, or if there's some single game tickets, you're gonna want to be. There hasn't been a schedule like this in a while.
It's fun, right?
It's going to be a great last 3-4 weeks of the season in the tournament play. So, all right, Coach, safe travels, and we'll see you in the PMAC on Sunday.
All right, Mike. See you soon.
All right, Gary. Thanks.
All
right, everybody. We're going to end the show. We've got Brian Kelly at noon, so we'll have that up on our YouTube channel. But another edition of Inside LSU Women's Basketball is done. And again, hit the like button if you enjoyed it. Thanks to Emily and Coach Reedus for joining us. And we'll see you on the other side. Oh, by the way, Buddy Sanji and I live at 6 o'clock for TigerBait Live. And we'll be talking about LSU women's basketball again, Tiger baseball, and, of course, Brian Kelly, his presser that we have at noon today. We'll have all that wrap up from 6 to 7 tonight right here on our YouTube channel. So hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and we'll see you on the other side. Y'all have a good day.